lucid dreams. For some reason while asleep it's difficult for me to make the distinction between the real world and the dream world. And on the off chance I do, the revelation wakes me up. Very infrequently I'll find myself at an unconscious crossroads and it becomes apparent that the dream has established its boundaries to me and has nothing else to offer besides what I put into it. Once I found myself on the roof of a skyscraper with a large, manoeuvrable kite. Instinct told me that I was in control. I jumped off the edge and flew around the area until the situation gradually lost its emotional impact. When the dream lost its novelty and I realised I was in control, I was placed back into real life. Despite this anomaly, my life's dream portfolio ranges from hyper-real, uninteresting social scenarios where I act as a passive observer to grotesquely intricate landscapes and buildings filled with people unfazed by their existentially distressing surroundings while I drift through situations taking on board all the distresses and remaining passive. More often than not, I'm a passive observer in my own dreams, even when I'm the focus. Interestingly, I know I tend to be passive in the waking world. I love socialising more than anything, but it's very easy for me to put myself in the role of the observer in social situations. I find myself wanting to be involved in a discussion with little idea how to jump on board, for fear of coming across like an alien. Although I find it much easier to break out of my self-imposed role than I used to, part of me feels like my voice in a discussion is essentially my dream self voicing its outlook, and that my natural place is to watch the rest of the human race in silence. These days I've honed self-respect and self-worth, and now see myself as a valid member of the human race. There will always be a part of me that can freeze over, manifesting myself as the passive character I live most of my dreams through. Maybe my biggest fear or biggest motivator is that one day I'll change into that person and stay like that in my conscious and unconscious lives. Surrealism permeates dreams. The circumstances we find ourselves in when sleeping can be similar to riding a miniature train set through a Bosch painting, or they can be indistinguishable from another communal interaction until you realise that, although you feel fairly familiar with surroundings, you have never been in this place before. The word surrealism stems from the French word surrealism, an amalgamation of beyond and realism, which can help to define the various ways surrealism is portrayed and identified. The most realistic dream can be considered surreal due to its dreamlike nature. You are not awake, you are not talking to real people, this is not a physical place. But none of these points matter when you're part of it. Similarly, the most insane, logically asymmetrical dream would be considered surreal because it is, quite literally, beyond real. You are not inside a busy aircraft hangar adorned with giant hanging taxidermy. You have not just crawled through a rose bush to stand on the very centre of the North Pole. But even though you have never, and probably will never, experience any of these things, they're still experiences that you've had beyond our concept of the real. When dreaming, we're always a part of these experiences, and if we succeed in recalling dreams after awakening, they become memories. They're memories of thought processes made sense of in our dormant minds, but we still have the ability to remember them, and could therefore be considered experiences beyond the real. It's the norm for me to submit myself to my unconscious subconscious while dreaming. Many people describe figuring out that they're dreaming as an acknowledgement that they cannot recall how they got to their current situation. In Waking Life by Richard Linklater is a film solely dedicated to the philosophy and social place of dreaming in the dream world. It highlights a few indicators for this in-dream awakening. These include attempting to adjust light levels and attempting to read clocks. For whatever reason, I rarely manage to influence my surroundings or analyse details in dreams. And when I do, I usually remain in the dream or get pushed further into it rather than go lucid. When I sleep, I hardly ever think to remember how I got into a given situation, and when I wake up I realise this, but my dream self chooses to engage and empower the fantasies by accepting them. If the uncanny nature of dreams can be described as surreal and undergone passively, then that observation of that subject will likely result in a reaction. If an experience of a dream can create a memory or even a feeling as vividly as in the real world, then we can assume that dreams also function as receptacles of emotion. Contrary to feeling emotions in dreams, emotional responses in reality are often based on personal or social contexts. If a beloved relative dies, you're sad, and if a natural disaster sets the sky on fire, you're scared. In living our lives, we associate our emotions with their initial causes. As we continue to live, life unleashes an influx of reasons to feel things upon us.
The physical world could be defined as a vast echo chamber of incalculable matter ricocheting off itself forever to trigger a multidimensional torrent of prospective emotional reactions. Some days we find ourselves in our element for seemingly no reason, handling every emotional thing the universe offers us with clarity and peace of mind and in total acknowledgement of our own. On other days there are so many reactions we can't even react, only to detonate our minds at some point in the future, after hoarding feelings too intense to contain for too long. Life can feel like staring unblinkingly into a long, dull narrative, threading long strands of mediocrity across fluctuating scenarios of erratic negatives and fickle positives. But to continue doing this, we need energy, and to stay alert, we need sleep, and in sleeping, we gain insight into the fibrous strands of our life. But to continue doing this, we need energy. And to continue doing this, we need energy. And to stay alert, we need sleep. And in sleeping, we gain insight into the fibrous strands of our life. Experiencing emotions and dreams can be seen as a surreal roadmap of what we experience in the real world. One in which our dream self may study passively. Our dream self may study passively while unconscious. We might feel emotion in the moment, or we can feel it when we wake up, but its nature as a fantasy means it's...
I feel like this isn't the most interesting video out there. What's even going on in this? What are we looking at? Oh, it was meant to be a sort of riff about what it's like not seeing a lot of the people that you live with because of their working, but I'm kind of sticking with that blueprint. But I'm talking about dreams now, like from my point of view. For all I know, everyone sees dreams differently. Even if they don't, I still can't find anything tangible in what I'm putting together here. Got no real solid ideas at all. I can't really bring myself to create a story or anything. I'm going to carry on trying to finish this. It's just right now. I feel like I've enjoyed making it. It's made out of some different things, some other footage and that. We'll see where it goes. I don't even know what you'd call this. Some wildlife documentary thing. You talk about it to people.